So Mbawula chat is what we classify, it's an inspirational segment, but it's talking to a seasoned entrepreneur who's started a business and has been able to grow their business, even if it's multiple businesses, and to just learn and get nuggets from them. How have they been navigating? This is our fellow colleague, because all of us are on this entrepreneurial journey, who are just sharing with us where they are and where they've been and where they're thinking of going, you know. So the format is simple. I ask a couple of questions, then we open up to the floor, then we wrap it up. After that, we do the pitch winner announcement. We've got food. You know, if there's someone you were eyeing to talk to, don't leave without talking to them. While you're eating, maybe after, just engage those individuals and check out the amazing exhibitors. Are we okay with that? So I've got an amazing gentleman who's actually the founder and owner of this building, or rather this business, which is 50onGugs. He's equally the founder of Sinbad wines. Got a couple of bottles a few weeks ago. I'm very happy with them. But I don't drink. But I'm very, very happy with the product. Don't ask me a lot of questions. I'm very happy with it. Sindile, Mr. Sindile Gama. Let's give him a big round of applause as he comes, in a sense, to the podium.
I come prepared.
Yeah, maybe we need to put it. Yeah, the fellow panel member. So, as if I don't know you, and then some of the people in the room don't know you, maybe introduce yourself like a stranger. You know?
Molweni. Good afternoon. I see some fellow Khoisans at the back, so I have to speak English. My name is Sindile Gama. Ubhayeka khethe umsuthu camjolo neva mhlophe. Liqabala ngapha eMqanduli, from Eastern Cape. Moved into Cape Town a few years ago. Got married in Cape Town, in a true sense of intonga igawuleza izweni. Umfazi wami uthandiswa wayengwakwakoyana ngoko ke usemasimbeni ngugama ngoko. Let's be clear. In a nutshell, that's me. Maybe just one more thing. I thank you for choosing 50onGugs as a venue for this beautiful exercise, for a very, very important aspect of our lives as entrepreneurs, of trying to get there. Thank you.
Round of applause. You know, but also, you know, I think equally, this amazing gentleman has made the experience very easy for us, because when we met with him, before we even said anything, said, yes, the place is here. Just do whatever you want to do. I'm open. What else do you need? Who else do you need to know? Where else do you need to go? So I think that's then equally, and that enterprising spirit that says, we understand it, we get it, we are in it, and we want to make sure that it impacts as many people as possible. So let's give 50onGugs a big round of applause for opening up their venue for us. Thank you so, so much. Where did your entrepreneurial journey start? I mean, does the journey start with entrepreneurship, or is it employment? And when does the bug bite you to go or consider entrepreneurship?
I really want to give thanks to my mother, Makhas. When I was still living at junior secondary school in Mbawula, Mama attends his shresh. And he would then send me to the shops where she buys to go and negotiate pricing. That really got the bug into me that you can do this thing for yourself. Yes, you grow up in Mqanduli. You don't know anything else except to teach unes ijoni no gqirha. But udominyana pentloko to be a doctor, yabo. So end up choosing the teaching profession. Then moved into Cape Town. Still the passion is there to do things for my own. I think my problem is I struggle to follow processes. I struggle to follow an order. I want to create the order myself. That's my biggest challenge, but it's a good challenge.
Let's get, guys, come on, round of applause. We will not be held liable should you experience a burning sensation in the middle of the night from clapping all day long. That's us giving off good energy, angithi. So tell us then, so you then sort of then give us a glimpse of the inspiration behind, starting, which is your mother, and some of the notes. How then has the entrepreneurial journey been? Because, sometimes we present entrepreneurship as a very glamorous space to be in, and I think that presentation in and itself then sort of shuns away the difficulties of it. How has entrepreneurship been for you?
Sure. I always say to people that come to 50onGugs on a Saturday afternoon, when it's pumping, it's like everybody's dancing. They forget that it started maybe on Tuesday, where I don't even have money to stock up this shop, right? So I'm sweating in between then to try and make sure that I can be able to find resources to make sure that the shop is what it is. What people see as an end product, the difficulty that has been behind the scenes is a lot. It's a learning curve in processes in terms of the timeline into the business, because then you end up getting to understand what are the facets of your business that you need to make sure that they are stronger earlier in a week in terms of preparing for the weekend. And what can you not do with by the time the weekend starts? So the journey of an entrepreneur, and I'm sure everybody who's here understand that, unfortunately, there's something that I need to say. If I'm controversial, please take me.
Yeah, I think we dealt with you technically before. So we could say and say, our artificial intelligence is way ahead. Okay, that's just the sound. Are you back on? No, maybe try this one. Let's just swap.
Let's try this thing quickly. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I think we all make this mistake of thinking because I'm black, because I'm serving the black communities, the mistake you think is that then you arrive and you think the black people owe you a favor to do things for you. That's the biggest mistake one learned. But actually, the black excellence comes from the fact that your fellow black people expect more from you than they would expect from a white person. In that sense, you realize that you need to step up. I sometimes get annoyed when a fellow guy comes into this till and says, I want a bottle of Hennessy. And I'm like, okay. When I take it, he asks the question, how much? I'm like, what do you mean how much? You came for the Hennessy, you didn't come for a price. What I know very well is, in the other establishment in town, the bottle of Hennessy is 300% expensive than here. I saw that black man yesterday doing this and calling a waiter. The waiter comes and he just swipes, he doesn't ask how much. But he has to ask when he gets to another black person. So those are the lessons that you get to understand that, you know what, you are on your own on this thing. You gotta do it, you gotta excel, you gotta push, you gotta move forward and try and go. Oh, we are kissing each other.
No, we are definitely kissing each other. And I mean, has there been moments in your business where you felt lows that maybe might have been suggestive to you closing or just leaving this whole entrepreneurial journey? And if those thoughts ever even came up, what kept you in the game?
I think one important aspect about my business is that I run the business with my wife, Thandi. It's always a nicer flagship when we get home and we look at it and we're like, do we want to do this? Right? But because it's in a partnership, so we are able to pick each other up and get up again and try and work. Yes, we have been in those spaces. Before COVID, like my young fellow on the phone here, Kwako, before COVID, we were all like singing like him, happy. Everything was just happening. COVID hit, you can't pay salaries at the end of the month. And you must remember, people see, your staff see people in the shop, they're like, what does he mean you can't pay salaries? But the operational costs into running the business is what makes it, at the end of the day, you know how much margin you make, or you know how much you can be able to look after your staff. So yes, we have been in those spaces where we wanted to close the business, but hell no, we're not gonna close. We'll work hard and push until we get to the vision.
You guys, I love it. You got it. You got it. Is there a single piece of advice or a book you read or something you heard that changed your perspective either on life or on entrepreneurship that has always stuck with you? This could even be a motto. What is it?
But I hear people talking about the cheese, the cheese boy, and I'll figure out, hey, cheese boy, now you're cheese boy. There's a book that we read some time ago in one of the green companies I used to work for. It's called Who Moved My Cheese. That book is simple for me. Guys, as an entrepreneur, number one. You need to know where it is. If somebody moved it, you need to know we move it to where and why, and how can you get your cheese back? Because when you get your cheese back, you put your stake in the market again. You put 50onGugs again in the market. You put Sinbad wines back in the market. That's it. The book really is what made the difference for me. It's an old book, and I read it, I think, 20 years ago. And I worked for a few international companies, Siemens, T-Systems, Cisco. I mean, I've learned a lot. Americans can sell you your own lips in your face. That's how Americans work. So I've learned a lot from that. Working for Cisco for 7 years, is that you need to believe in your, excuse the pun, your shit. You need to believe in what you do. No one else is going to believe it for you. That's the only way you can move forward.
It's often said that entrepreneurship is lonely, but in our culture, there's a saying, how important is mentorship, and how impactful were some of these mentors in your life, if you had any?
I'm one person who, my life has been sports. I was a sprinter, 100 meters. My journey in everything I've done was based on one man called Carl Lewis. I'm old, so yeah. So what 100 meters teaches you is very simple. There's only one chance. It's on your marks, get set, go. A false start means you're out of the Olympics, which you've worked for how many years? 4 years to qualify for Olympics. But if you just miss that, 1. 2, I remember SHM's 1992 in Bloemfontein. The stadium was packed. The experience, I still feel it today. When they say, on your marks, in 100 minutes, when they say get set, the entire stadium might be making noise and clapping. You hear nothing except on your marks, get set. Focus, concentration, being strategic on what you want to achieve and what you do. Those are the lessons I am talking about that has really groomed me to be this person I am in terms of the business. That's it. Importantly so, I'm just a true marketer. Again, in partnership in the business, there's something I had to learn in a hard way. I kept on selling and selling and selling and selling. Hey, because I didn't have financial astute and understanding of finances, I missed the ball. Again, my mentor is close to me, it's my wife, in terms of the financial management. That I had to, ego window at the But as you on your own, hey, God, So it got to a stage where I had to embrace that and understand, Toto, we are going to things, but I figure out udum. So let's embrace it. So that's how I've managed to get around. Thank you.
I like that because, I wanted to ask, I think in and around partnership, because, sometimes we get into partnerships and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, sometimes they're ego-driven, My question would have been, what has helped you to navigate, your business partnerships, in the right manner? Because sometimes, as entrepreneurs, we get into partnerships, but maybe sometimes they're influenced by the wrong reasons or the wrong decisions, and there's infighting, then we end up leaving that particular business. So what could be your advice in terms of how we could navigate and manage that? Just one or two pieces.
I think partnerships have always fallen. Actually, let me just take a step back. We formed a company Namachita, Nant. The first fight was, I got a center accountant. I am the CEO, I am the managing director, I am the finance. CEO Yandoni. Yandoni CEO. There's no company yet. We're still in the infancy stage. So that's number one. Can we not put importance on things that are not important in business? Because then you never move forward. The second thing that's very important is that, unfortunately, which I want us to move it to fortunately, that we don't write things down, Tina. I'm Chanam Mesikalendo Sakula Soitu, but there's no contract in place. You need to have a contract, and the contract must be very articulate in understanding the aspects of the business. Thirdly, the output is very important. That Sibatatu sends a business, and now no 30%. You have to put your 30% into it. You can't, because you've got 30% when uzawuhlala unqenqa xa kuthiwa kuyakhathwa nawe ufuna ukukhathela u-30. Hayi kaloku sakukhathela u-5 kaloku wena because khange usipane. So it's important that those things are clarified upfront. In a cash business, US, in a business like this, it's difficult to have partnerships. I'm sure everybody who's here will understand what I'm saying. In a cash business, the partnership is difficult. Well, on a different kind of business, that's nori, you don't get cash every day. Because cash business, you need to understand, you might have 500 rand, but if 495 rand 65 cents, must still go and buy stock. But if you don't understand, you want to think, Sienzili 500, so must cut it 30. But it doesn't work like that. So those are the few things that I can think of on top of my mind.
That's a very, very good financial tip right there. It talks to pricing, it talks to where your profit actually is, as entrepreneurs. Because I think the things that we need to consider, if you buy the product for 100 rand, you sell it for 200, your profit is not really 100 rand. Because there's petrol, there's sometimes taxi fee, there's labeling, there's margins that we need to consider. And I think being able to layer it the way the gentleman is telling us now puts us in a better position where we avoid chasing our tails every single month, But now just tell me, what moment was it in your entrepreneurial journey where you felt like, yeah, man, I'm doing this thing? What did that feeling feel like? Was it you winning an award? What was that moment, and what did that feeling feel like, so that we don't just capture the hardships, the toughness, and we're also able to throw glimmers of hope?
Yeah, I think too is so one day I was standing outside on that house overlooking at 50onGugs here. I had a nice billboard there on top here, which was giving extra revenue. And you look into this and you're like, it's part of that kind of satisfaction. From Mkandul, yeah. Uzamile boy. So that's one. I'm also so the buy here consists of products which belongs to someone who's sleeping while I'm now at 12 o'clock I'm sweating, selling his product. So one of those moments is the birth of this young man. My nickname is Sinbad. Ungabona inteshe wena ndandiyimodla ngexesha lam. So and I still give credit to the boys who gave me the nickname Sinbad. I started this wine brand about 3 years ago. I remember the process was long, a year and a half, tasting, checking this, getting labels done. The day I held this bottle in my hand, I was like, again, Mbawula kodini man. Yebo? Yes, nansi bottle. And didiyela umkombo kuphela ngoku. Sididiyele wani eyawusela kuzo zonke izindawo. So yes, that was my second moment, my brother.
So I'm going to ask you, okay, but when you answer me first, maybe tell us, where do we get the product? And the fact that they can actually buy the product here today and live with it today. Very important, so that they buy the product and get to taste it. You're in the services business. How in product is customer service? Because, well, in Ixesha, we've got this whole 6 to 9, mindset that says, even if I didn't supply that one, she's crazy, I'll find another customer, or whatever the case is, And this arrogance, more especially small businesses, and you don't deliver, you feel like you are doing them a favor, and now they are annoying. And this particular business for me is, is important in the sense that you meet thousands of people in a month. How important is it to service them well so you retain them?
I think generally your business consists of sales element. Then you've got your admin and you've got your service element. I always say the guys that do the servicing are actually the more important people than anybody else in the food chain. So I am grateful to the staff that I have here at 50onGugs, led by manager Amasanda, that the ethos here in 50onGugs is service, finish and clear. It doesn't matter who you are, ofike ngabani xesha. Ofike kuqala noba yi-20 rand. You need to nurture that person because you don't know next time maybe uzaba naye lot of money 20,000. So service and delivery is important, bantu bakuthi. And also service mayingabi nekhala, mayingabi ne-texture, mayingabi nemali phakathi. Service is service. Because the only way you can, because like I said, sales and then the services side. When you grow the sales, you then need to keep that funnel way towards, because the services guys are keeping it there. Your role in sales, you're putting it higher. Their responsibility is to leave it there. Actually, they've got the more responsibility as the services at the back, because the product says that comes out. This person must never be told about it again. He must decide, I don't want anything else except a pizza sausage as a 50onGugs. McDonald's can, Debonairs can go to, So, because of the service, so there's nothing more than anything else, Poti. You must make sure that you respect and give them what they want. It's difficult. Abantu ba difficult, mhlekazi. Ne? I will tell you a simple story. Somebody came from town, upete wings from an establishment, and a shop says 20 million in South Africa. And she came here, she said, I told you are expensive. We take it down on a taxi all the way from here. Was a figure. Then I said to her, but how did this conversation come about? Oh, so benisem sebenzini nithetha nge-50onGugs uba iphiko lalapha lithe, so waqonda in the pricing. So up until we had the responsibility to educate her, ba mamela ke lo shopra thetha ngayo khange akojele liphiko, khange akuklinele itafile, khange akuseve, khange waphuma umsila ujonge ezantsi. Because I wanted to make sure that, or the business wanted to make sure that she then understands that she's misunderstanding service. So the education in her, that but we are a full loan service. That's why people are getting 1 rand, 1 rand 5 cents. Thank you. Okay, so the Sinbad wines product, as I said, started 3.5 years ago, in partnership with a wine farm in France who called the Rickety Bridge. That's why you have this the star in there. The reason why I did that is because I wanted to ensure that people can relate to the brand, because I mean Sinbad wine, what is wow, you know? So I made sure that there's a link. So the wine, as he said, you can find it here. You've got a responsibility, my brother. We, as the black entrepreneurs, you will find, I will mention Macro, Spa, every second day you find a new product. You will find it. Ticela sise ezi zethu ngomso. We opened after how many years? So there's that responsibility. That it's a difficult entry for us to get into those shelves. And also cost-wise, it doesn't make sense for me to put wines into the shelves where I'm going to make 5 rand and I'm going to be paid in 90 days, because that's what they do. So I am online, Wine Q&A, that's where you can find it. I've got the QR code. I am on Facebook. So at the moment, if you find me, if you find Sinbad Wines, you can be able to order online. You can also actually, at the moment, I'm also the distribution center. Because I'm there, you can order from me, you can inbox me on WhatsApp, Facebook, on Instagram. Fortunately, what I've done is as well is I'm listing in restaurants. So Ayep was one of my flagships. Now there's Ember in town, who I'm also getting. There's some restaurant in Parklands. I'm getting some in Joburg. So because then I'm secting. So I want Spot to call me one day to say, who is this Sinbad? Because then it's going to come on my terms, not on their terms. So yeah, that's me. Thank you. That's me in a nutshell.
And then my last question, then we'll open up for questions. So those who have questions, just prep, your hands up, stuff like that. My last one is, I mean, you mentioned how good at R and sales is your strength, you know, but part of selling means rejections. So we regret to inform you, we decline, we are not ready, we don't have the budget for, we can't work with you, or so on and so forth. You know, and I think sometimes that rejection as entrepreneurs, especially because it takes a lot for you to sum up the courage to even go and sell, so it throws us off. How have you dealt with the rejection of, no, we don't want Sinbad wines. No, we don't want 50onGugs. No, we don't want you, you know. But you've been able to persist one way or another over the years.
I'm tempted to ask you, what is rejection? What is that? So I always say this, there's things that are made for people, there's things that are not. To be an entrepreneur, you have to be messed up here. Right, that's one. And I always, like I said to my reference in my life in terms of how I do things comes from sports, I was a goalkeeper, right? 10 players can make a mistake, isn't it? It's not a goal. Nobody gets blamed. As a goalkeeper, you make one mistake the entire 90 minutes. The goal is in and everybody hates you. So that's how I grew up as a goalkeeper. So I then realized, but you know what? I don't care. I'm going to put my A game. If a goalie and down, I'm not there for a goal, but if you so bad. We played against Amazulu, Mtata, in a stadium, Unitas. I made one of the best saves in the entire life. If someone knows John Banks from England, one of those crosses where you tip it over, I was lifted off the stadium. The following week, against Ruzul Royals, he crossed the Yaza and I buy some China, then they cut. By the time, nothing. Ndathukwa. So then I was like, I'm so nothing can down Mosnina. So I know now what I'm here for. So then I moved into sales, you know. So I carried that ethos with me. It's okay, Kemchana. It's all right. I move on to the next one. All right, yes, there's moments where, I mean, when I worked for the US company, Cisco, the targets were high. So you've got a 50 million target. And you get a promise government deal, but no, next week we're signing off, we're signing. You lose it in China. It's one of the hardest one. But you don't have a choice. You got to move on to the next project. Again, guys, anyone else who's an entrepreneur, if you don't have hope, in Dokbana izakwenzeka usema simbeni. That's it. Okay. Let's dust up. What's the next project? That's why, again, as an entrepreneur, you can't have a deal in your table. You have to have this number. You can categorize them, the higher one, the low, but you must always have a number so that if this one doesn't work, let's dust it. Let's move to the next project.
It was beautiful. That was really, really, really beautiful. But I'm gonna now ask for, if anyone has got questions, maybe just raise your hand, and then I'll just navigate the mics in between. The gentleman, please come this side. X marks the spot. Who else has got a question? The lady, please come this side. Just Safoli line up. I've got a gentleman over there. I can take 2 more. I've got 3. Is there anyone else? The lady there. Okay, Ndiaivala, you can come, sis. There you go, sir. Wangabuz. But he's already here.
Hi everyone. Puti, inkosi for a presentation oyenzileyo about Sinbad and 50onGugs. Mnakim to ohamba apa okoko. I just wanted you to just touch base on a very important thing for entrepreneurs. Ukuthi, on the dark days, difficult days, competition, Gugulethu, how did you overcome? That would be my first question. And also, secondly, the identity of 50onGugs, so that when everybody goes home, there's like Kumblang and 50onGugs. I think if you can touch on that, it will help Abanda Balapa Kakulu.
So, firstly, I don't subscribe to the word competition. I'm going to give you a bit of a secret now in terms of how I run things, but I'm thinking that's why we're here. So, if you see, Zonga shops like Gugulethu are Somalia. Why are they successful? Because they don't have a competition amongst themselves. So, Tina, Bandabamyama, Tina Makhosa Mazulu, Basut, Balapa, we need to understand the power to success is working together. Masiyeke lento yokuthi yo hayi ndinomlungu endithenga kuye phamna cheaper awuzomxela omnye. That's why bekwazi ukuthengisela umcinga wamachisi, because bathenga inbox yamachisi eyi-1 bebonke, because omnye akanamali basherish. So what I've done, TP, as Sinbad up at Gugs, people were shocked. They would see me in all the competition places in Gugs, which they perceive as competition. Ndipaya kwa pisto. Haibo, ufuna ntona i-50 ushana ban. Chill. Because now umntu nobe ndibone phaa ngoyaqomba hayi man ngumntu moslo xa kanti uyakwazi nokuza kwezinye indawo. Yabo? So I'm trying to say, guys, the only way you can beat the competition is to be part of the structure, is to part, then you can understand. And I'm saying we work together as a team in the businesses so that we can be able to do things right. So that's how I managed to get into the competition space. The differentiator about 50onGugs is very simple. We are tandwa apa kule shop no bungbani. Apa sakuhaga unye ba uyathanda. Uzawamba pukonba. Actually, that's why Mazunan buyepa. From Istaf Samsung up 50. Ubizwa sana lolo mengliza panana, yabo. Koni xakwazana nalapha next door kuthiwa ngumami awuza kuteketisa kakuhle. So that's one differentiator. That's what makes this space much more. Actually, it's quite interesting that when umntu client yalapha feels like we familiar. Most of my clients, TP is one of them. They think they own this place, which is good. I'm happy because then it means you are here every day. You enjoy. This is your home. That's what 50onGugs is about. Lastly, you must have a pizza sausage up before one. You will never find it anywhere in the world. Thank you. She's smiling, huh? She understands what I'm talking about. Yes. So I think in a nutshell, those are the key aspects about this business that make people love and want to come back here.
Hello? Yeah, perfect. My lady. X marks the spot. There you go, my lady. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience.
Now I don't really have a question, but I feel like I have to say this, and this is a great platform to say it. You might not remember this, but Sindile, I started my business in 2016, as I said earlier on, and you didn't know me from a bar of soap. I did uniforms for his staff, Sase Sochila, that is owned by Tapisto, may so still rest in peace. So I never gave you my number, but you gave me a call. I think you saw the uniforms that I did for Isochila. And then you were like, Sisi, I want you to do uniforms for 50onGugs. It did not look like this at the time. That was 2017. I was starting out business. I was like, yo, for me, that was a pat on the back that he only and outsourced some not to come and do uniform for his place. And I came here and we had a chat. But because there were so many things going on, it never really, and it was on my side, because I was still growing in business and all of that. I never got the chance to do the uniforms. But what I did was, you actually gave us an opportunity to have our event. We were actually doing an event to help with the sanitary towels, zip pads. So you gave us a platform, you gave us free venue to come and do the event. So you are giving back to small businesses a lot. Siyabulela ngalonto leyo kakhulu. We thank you so much. Really. And usuke mthatha emqandweni ngasemthatha nencambele. So I think that's another thing for me that makes me feel like this, and it's so profound what you just said now. Ubana wawuye kwapisto, you know, as a business owner to another business owner, and for us as business owners, we look young business owners, and we're still growing in the business industry. We look at those things, you know, that as much as you're a business owner, there's no need to be jealous of another one. We learn from each other. You can share ideas. If you share ideas, we can learn, because that event even was supposed to be at a Sochil. So back then, Utapisto said, no, man, do it at 50. To me, that's my brother. I lahlekangi sekhaya if that event is there. So thank you so much for that. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on usivulela matango. Klomzo wako. My event meetings, I have them here. You know, every time ndizawudibana ne-brand, I come here. But it's just that now and then I haven't been out a lot. But whenever I need to do something, I come. It's either Sochila or 50onGugs. So thank you for opening your doors for us. Ungadinwa. We might siktasule or whatever sometimes, but singabantwana, we are looking up to you and we're looking up to the things that you do. Thank you so much.
And I think truly so, when you do things with care and utando, sometimes you don't even notice. So thank you.
Thank you once again for the platform, and thank you, sir, for giving us this opportunity to be hosted in your place. I just wanted to first say that you have actually won a customer out of me from your presentation. However, I had a couple of questions, but you've already covered some. But my question, which I have been much interested in, is when you showed your brand, which is your Sinbad wine, which is, I think, produced in Ricketti wineries. For someone who wants to bring guests or clients into your space, I'd like to know if you do offer, or rather, you do have, wine tastings sort of events from time to time where these people could be able to come and experience that. So if you may just elaborate if that happens in your establishment. Thank you.
Thank you. We open Mondays to Sunday. Thank you. Okay, so from a wine tasting point of view, so what I'm starting to do is to do tailor-made requests. So if you've got 50 clients that you want to bring at 50 and you want part of it to be wine tasting, we do that. So yes, the request can come. I'm ready. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sibate. You can call me Siba. I am a founder and owner of Siba's Creations. I am based in Acacia Park. I am a cake artist, by the way. As a young entrepreneur, I face with so many challenges in terms of waste, losses. So I find myself in a depression. So for instance, as a baker, if you miss out baking powder, there's a huge loss. So my question for you is, how do you deal with losses, waste in your business? Hey, it's frustrating, I know. Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Aishem, kunyiwa maqala. So losses in business is actually, unfortunately, something that you budget for as well. But I'm going on a budget, so budget and loss. That's the challenge that we have as small businesses. I mean, upper businesses, for instance, I have cameras that are pointing to the key places that when then I find that La Coroni one and Iboni, I then go and trace the steps back from Ufukakwa Macro, as what delivery, how many were delivered, how many were stocked in, and then I trace back to the till. It's a very, very daunting task, guys, in the shrinkage. It happens to anyone. There's no single answer. Uzawuvala lo mnyango ugqiba uqomba leso ziphinde ibiwe ngolhlobo wangalo. Izawulahleka next week ngenye indlela. It happens. It happens. Some are deliberately, some stock loss is mhlambe ezinye ziyophuka. It's unnatural stuff, but we live by it, and you just try and better it every day. There's no other way. I don't have an answer for that one, my darling. Sorry. Thank you.
In terms of the loss, about that question, I always say that it's very important in business to have working capital. Just you can leave aside the products getting lost. If you have working machinery, you need working capital that you need to always have as a backup, just in case something happens. For example, if you have a delivery bike, a bike can get an accident in any time, or a car can get an accident in any time. So if you are insured, obviously you need the what do they call that thing? The excess fee. So you always need to make sure that in your business, try to have working capital just for the hiccups that might occur.
Thank you, sir. Yes, X marks the spot.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Ikamala Musnet Batangazele from Gugulethu. And my business is tents and tables and chairs. So if you need or graduations or whatever the case, I'm the guy to go to. So I know you, sir, very well. Maybe I'll refresh your memory a little. Around 2005, I was studying in Pinelands High School. Yeah, and you lived in Thornton, and I was friends with Akona and Otto. So we used to go a lot to Thornton, stand your pulling. So, so I recognize your growth because I'm from Gugulethu, so Sikule, Ape Gugulethu. I just want to mention two things more than a question. The first one is that I want to urge you to, Aman, you must stop this thing. Because, you know, you come into Kwaskoma, 50onGugs, as handsome as I am right now. And then the next thing, tomorrow morning, when you have to look at your bank balance, you're like, yo. What happened there, man? You know, I had my budget of packet two, and that's enough. And all of a sudden, it's all gone. That shows about how nice it is here. But I think another thing that I want to comment in is the safety aspect. Is that the safety aspect, especially on the entertainment industry, especially Ekasi, and we go home late, 1 o'clock, 2 a.m. in the morning, you want to be safe. And the one thing I commend about but 50onGugs is that the safety aspect is always there. Our cars are never broken in. We are never robbed or anything like that. Our material wealth is never gone missing. And I'm thankful for that because it shows your appreciation for us as your customer, and you show that you value us. So for that, I want to thank you. Keep going and keep inspiring us all. And I hope in future, because I'm also in the event industry, that we can somewhat do something. Thank you. That's my piece.
Yeah, do you have an answer to the bank balances?
Keep it coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, that then concludes our Mbawula chat. Let's give Mr. Sindile a beautiful round of applause. Let's do better than that, man. Let's give him some. No, but now we need you to just pose here for a picture. I'll hold these. I think it's fitting that you have your baby there. Just stare at this gentleman here. Let's move these cables out the way. Yeah. Then we've got some gifts here. Okay, you see. But please don't go too far. Don't go too far because we're going to do How was that?